First of all, I want to thank you, Richard, and you, Erica, and Carolyn, and for helping to get this together. It's going, I think, pretty well. If bordering on excellent, and I want to thank you, all of you, and thank everybody that's joined us today. One of the blessings that I mentioned as we were having our virtual coffee hour is having people who have not been with us. I met Phil and Norma today, and so that's one of the blessings. Even at this time, this difficult time, there are several blessings. And as Erica pointed out today, oh, by the way, we have these. I have these at home. If you, Erica mentioned them, they've been out on a table in the foyer. I have them at home now. We can mail these to you. They are can choose to preach on one of the themes, the Palms, or the other theme, the Passion. But a lot of preachers like myself decide to try to combine the two, because this is the only Sunday where there are two contradictory themes. And it actually is one of the three Sundays, or one of the three holy days, excuse me, where basically you end with a downer on the downside. The other two are Ash Wednesday, because that's the beginning of Lent, and Holy Thursday, or Maundy Thursday, because that's right before Good Friday. But even with this, on Palm and Passion Sunday, preachers still want to end with a hopeful note, because every Sunday is a symbol of the resurrection, and that's what we celebrate. That's why we worship together on Sundays, the 3 days after. There's Maundy, Thursday, and then Good Friday, Saturday, and then the third day is Sunday, the resurrection. And so we will be ending with a note of hope today. The feelings that we've had this past couple of months, I imagine that those were very similar to the feelings that Jesus had in this week. Passion and Palm Sunday are also celebrated on the same Sunday because they happen within the same week. So those feelings are condensed, basically. And Jesus felt the emotions that we've been feeling in that short time. Jesus had been ministering before he returned to Jerusalem, and he was basically in a routine of going to the different towns and spreading the good news. And then we come to, as Doris mentioned a couple of Sundays ago, the non-routine incident with the Samaritan woman in Sychar. And so Jesus had experience with receiving praise and adoration from groups. He remained in that town, that Samaritan town, for a couple of weeks before he moved on. But Jesus was not used to the praise. Even for Jesus, the praise and adoration he received going into Jerusalem were not routine. I'm going to get back to my notes here now. I've skipped around a little bit. I mentioned that Jesus had the emotions that we've been feeling. Prior to the COVID-19 outbreak, we were secure. I imagine I was pretty secure. And then with the COVID-19 outbreak, things were a little shaken up. It wasn't the same old routine anymore. And in planning and working together with the worship committee to get this worship service done, it's been a little bit of a challenge for me because I'm not high tech. And I was going to try to put this on video, pre-record it, but it didn't turn out and it didn't work for me. But I'm going to try it again next Sunday because I might watch myself preach. I guess I'm watching myself preach right now, even so. It doesn't really matter. The thing is that we went from feelings of security that go along with the routine. We were secure financially. All of us had a roof over our heads, a sufficient amount to eat, the ability to pay the bills for the electricity and water. And some of us are now out of work. Most of us, though, are still pretty secure financially. We've saved enough money or have family or a support system, and we will not end up out in the streets. This is one blessing, another blessing, and a thing to be thankful for during this time because we have that financial security. In spite of this, many of us feel less secure now that this pandemic has hit. We have feelings of insecurity about our health. I know that I got scared a little bit. Last weekend, I had the stomach flu. I caught the stomach flu, and I didn't panic, but I did monitor myself quite closely. I never did get a fever, and I never had any of the other symptoms of the COVID-19, like the coughing and the shortness of breath. But I watched myself, and I was really concerned about Brenda because I knew if I had gotten it, the contagiousness of this, she would get it too. After I was over the stomach flu, I actually thanked God. I thank you God for the stomach flu because it was COVID-19. And so we can get scared by things that aren't the COVID-19, but it scares us during this really challenging time. And so Erica said we need to keep focusing on God, and God can take care of those feelings of insecurity that we might be having right now. Feelings of insecurity that Jesus had. He was felt very welcome upon entering Jerusalem, but a couple of days later, people were turning against him, and he was feeling insecure. And we are no longer in a routine of meeting together. And so we are experiencing, in addition to insecurity, a loss of camaraderie. This is wonderful. Zoom is wonderful because we can see each other and get a little camaraderie that way. But we want to shake hands and hug each other too. We want to do that with our church family, and we can't do that right now. So there is some loss of camaraderie that we're experiencing. And so that's another challenge for us. We have the challenge of working from home. And no matter how much one dislikes his or her job, they might have had the camaraderie of another person that disliked that job too, the place where they worked. And so there was camaraderie between those two people. And if the case is that a person wasn't working with others, but working by themselves, there's still a challenge of the different routine of working from home. For some, that comes in the challenge of getting things done. Since my kids have became school age, I have seldom had problems getting things done at my home office, and in fact, have often been able to get more things done at my home office than at the church office. But it's difficult to see that. It's not difficult to see that for those in education, professors, teachers, and students, the challenges they have to getting their homework done. The homework for teachers being getting the assignments out and things. Responsible individuals still manage to get their work done in the middle of the loss of camaraderie and routine and feelings of insecurity. But it's a fact that many things can't be done, many jobs can't be done from home, and numerous people who work in these jobs, which are non-essential, experience another insecurity. That's the loss of income. We need to keep these people, as mentioned during this entire service and during our virtual coffee hour, in our prayers. These workers no longer have the camaraderie of other workers, the people who are working from home, especially the ones who aren't teachers and things like that. We know that many people have been laid off now. So they're experiencing and have that loss, and the loss of income for those who are considered non-essential. And then we have the loss, which many people have experienced. Some of these people experienced on the same day, maybe having a loved one die, and also maybe hearing on the same day that they've lost their job. It's a double whammy for them. No matter how we've been affected, every one of us has been affected by this pandemic. I mentioned earlier that Jesus felt the same emotions during Holy Week that we're feeling right now. So we've never been alone. Even Jesus endured difficult times, especially during this Holy Week. He experienced being out of his routine. I mentioned he experienced a great praise and adoration from a group. And then in relation to the Palms, and then in relation to the Passion, Jesus was overwhelmed with somberness about the situation. We know that Jesus was passionate about his friends as well as his beliefs. We only have to recall the story of the death of Lazarus as proof of this. But Jesus was not without passion for those who never accepted him and those who abandoned him, even to the extent of betrayal. As the Easter event was coming up, Jesus was very passionate and felt compassion for those people who never accepted him, wouldn't accept him, and then the ones who betrayed him. The word compassion is can be split into two parts, and it means with passion. The compassion that Jesus felt for everyone became even greater and out of the routine, even for Jesus during this Holy Week. The one emotion that Jesus, I'm guessing, didn't feel as intensely as we do was that of insecurity. I believe that Jesus did feel some insecurity. Erica read when he was on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me? I believe this because Jesus was fully human as well as fully divine. That's what God sent Jesus down here for, was to experience humanness. And so I believe that Jesus had moments, not only that one, but other moments of insecurity. But my belief is that these were less intense for Jesus, and they were less intense because these moments of insecurity for Jesus did not last as long as ours do. And we can shorten ours by turning to Jesus in prayer, or to, devotional readings and things like that. But he did experience these moments also. The whole point is that we are not alone. We have each other to lean on. We have Jesus to lean on. And we have other things to lean on. Just earlier this week, the writer of the song "Lean on Me," Bill Withers, died. But that's a wonderful, wonderful song. We can lean on those lyrics. We can lean on the love of family and friends. And most of all, we can lean on the agape love of God as demonstrated in Jesus and through Jesus, the Christ. And although we've acknowledged the seriousness of the situation we're in now and the feelings of insecurity, uncertainty, and even loss brought about by COVID-19 pandemic, we also have acknowledged the security, joy, and love that Jesus always brings as God's gifts to us. That's why this worship service, even with its two opposing themes, is going to end on a positive note, because it's Sunday, and because it's not Ash Wednesday, and it's not Maundy Thursday, Holy Thursday. It is Sunday, and we are ending because we know that this time of uncertainty, insecurity, and loss caused by the absence of camaraderie and unemployment and even death itself, this will end. And God's reign, God will still be with us. Jesus is present with us now and always will be present with us. This end will come as Jesus brings this uncertainty, security, and life to those who keep the faith. And Jesus did this through the resurrection. Remember, Paul said that if we don't believe in the resurrection, our faith has been in vain. Resurrection brings new life, and with it new hope, because it comes after loss and uncertainty and death. My prayer for you, for all of us, is that you receive God's gift of faith, which enables you to believe in the resurrection. Amen.